And she was saying, no, look, you need to get out of Zimbabwe and come abroad so you can actually be yourself.
Okay.
Because
that's interesting.
Because she's like, Africans have been conditioned.
Okay.
She says, look, if you're from Loakwero, you're going to be SDA.
SDA, yeah.
If you're from Plumtree, you're going to be Methodist. So
yeah.
it's a duh, or is it Catholic? I can't remember. She said, if you look at different regions in this country, you can probably tell what religion somebody is based on that.
I mean, you are born into this family and you know nothing, zilch, like zero, right? And these guys shape you.
Yeah.
Right? They expose you to the things that they think they are the best for you.
Okay.
So even when it comes to where you go for church, the food that they feed you, music that they make you listen to, and even the people that they surround you with, are the things that they think these are the best for this little one. And most of us usually we don't have time to then question, why do they actually go to this church?
Yeah. Abraham's faith becomes Isaac's faith after Isaac wrestles with it. Abraham has to teach him the faith, has to teach him the principles, and not tell him, because sometimes people confuse tell and teach. He has to teach it, model it, raise him up in it. But it's not Isaac's until Isaac wrestles with it. There was a time when a church elder approached me and he said, Jason, the Holy Spirit has led us to ask you to fill this certain position in church.
Yeah.
And my response was, Minaganjela.
Welcome to the Truth Tok Podcast, where we uncover the hidden truths and untold stories. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guest, and they aim to bring light to the unspoken realities of life. The content shared here is for informational purposes only, and it is not intended to replace professional advice. Listener discretion is advised. Now, to the podcast.
What's up, everyone? I'm so excited. I don't know if you feel the excitement behind the screens there, but I'm so excited that we finally get this thing rolling. Finally. My name is Makawe. If you can't do that, click. Just call me Mac. And I have Jason with me here. Just tell them.
I'm the soulful nerd.
Yeah, how old you want our friends to call you?
They call me Jason. Jason is...
Not the J.
Yeah, Jason.
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 Ujaso. Okay. I thought
if you're Zimbabwe.
I thought you. I know you Mlalazi people love to do your thing.
It's
Lalazi.
It skipped me.
It skipped you.
It skipped
Okay. Let's get right into it. So today our topic.
God says it, but I don't believe it.
God says it, but I don't believe it. Oh.
Yeah.
Quite interesting.
And the first question is,
okay,
what if you're the only person left in your church? Because imagine you woke up one morning, and you are the only church member you had. Every other church member said, you know what, everything that we believed before, we don't. We just think it's rubbish. And even your pastor says, look, I was just doing it for the pay, but I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving. And you are the only person who believed what you believed. What would you do?
Oh, man. Why are you throwing like those heavy questions
What
at the
would you
beginning?
do? What would you do?
What would I do? I don't know.
And write it in the comments. Send in your comments. What would you do?
I think they need also to send it in the comments. But well, in my current perspective, I think obviously it will shake me a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Because the reason why we still hold on to the faith that we have is because of the community of believers that we have around us. Right? The thought that what I believe is a shared belief with other people.
Yeah.
So it makes me think I'm not crazy. I'm not insane. Like, if you think about it deep, to think that there is a God somewhere that I've never seen, that's crazy. Right? And there is no evidence. Well, I'm putting it.
Yeah, I mean, somebody once asked me, I want to chase somebody.
Yeah, and those people died. So someone actually said, what if the Bible is just a novel that someone just decided to write? Well, of course, probably later on in other episodes we'll talk about that. Why the Bible is, the unity of the Bible is just amazing, just beyond. So obviously I'll be shaken a little bit. I feel like maybe I'm the one who's insane. Everyone else has discovered the truth. So I'll go back a little bit, right? But from what I believe right now in the faith that I have and the things that I've learned for myself, I think I would remain in the faith.
Okay.
Would you?
No. In fact, I'm on the way out right now. No, I'm joking. No, because I was speaking to a cousin.
Yeah.
Actually, 10 years back, and well, she's based abroad, and well, from the conversation, I think she had a little something to drink. Because the
wise waters.
Yeah, the water with electricity. So she'd so we're talking. I don't know how we got to talking about religion, and she was saying, "No, look, you need to get out of Zimbabwe and come abroad so you can actually be yourself."
Okay, because that's interesting.
Because she's like, Africans have been conditioned.
Okay,
she says, "Look, if you're from Lokwe, you're going to be SDA. If you're from Plumtree, you're going to be Methodist. So it's a duh, or is it Catholic? I can't remember." She said, if you look at different regions in this country, you can probably tell what religion somebody is based on that.
So as she's saying that it's the background where you
you just haven't had the opportunity to be yourself. So you're just, because of where you come from. You're just following the grain. Your grandparents were this religion. Your parents were that religion, and now you're this religion, and you think you own it. You think it's who you are, but it's because your surroundings.
That's what you grew up in.
It's your surroundings. Because she says to me, look, if you look at most of us who left, because they left. She was part of the immigration that left late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
And if you look at most of us who left. And even when the people are still leaving now, when they come over here, people who've been church boys and church girls and everything, when they get here, they turn out quite differently because now they're being themselves. So you stop talking about all this. Yeah, she was telling me about all this posting about religious stuff. It's just because you're still back home with the parents and the community around you. So it's not really your belief. So which is why I brought this question first to say, what would you do if you woke up one morning and everyone around you said, "No, we're leaving"? So you're the only member of your church.
Now I'm scared to leave the country.
Do you want to lose the faith?
Because I'm enjoying it where I am. Okay, but so are we saying that most people right now are in a space whereby their beliefs are not who they are? Or we are saying that as you grow older, you begin to appreciate whatever faith that you are in and start to learn for yourself? Is it the case that everyone who's in a place where they don't really get to expose who they truly are, when they leave, they'll leave the faith? Or probably if you get to relocate to another place, you'll actually be strengthened in your faith?
Well, I don't know. I can't wait to leave. If you buy me an air ticket and you get me a visa, and then I'll leave, and then
you'll answer.
Yeah, then I'll answer you from there. Like, "Hi, no, I'm still here. Or don't talk to me about religion again."
Okay. Yeah, because it's making me think that so probably most people that we know that we grew up with, they actually haven't experienced the real side of who they are.
Yeah, they maybe haven't had the space to actually question, to actually say, "Is this what I really believe, or is this something else fit?" Because it's almost as if welcome baby to our family. Nancy Spongo, Nancy Bizo, Nancy soccer team, and Nancy Church.
Let's hope it's not Manchester United. You'll be in trouble.
Especially of late. But so it's it's what you've grown. You've okay. I'm not married yet.
Well.
Yeah, well, let me just say I'm not married. Because when I say yet, I'm not married. Okay. But
do you have a girlfriend? Okay, no, yeah.
I can't remember. But I'm not married yet.
Yeah.
But those who've been married, and I even listened to I think his name is Les Parrott. Okay. He's a marriage counselor, and they say one of the difficulties when you first move in together with your spouse is that there are things you carry with you from home that you think are normal.
Okay.
But you think everybody does them.
Yeah.
But they only done it at home.
Okay.
So Les Parrott gave this example. He said a couple had been given paintings as was it wall pictures or whatever, as a wedding gift. And they sat with them for 6 months. They were in a box. They were in a box. They were in the box. They were in a corner somewhere for 6 months. And then it turned out that Ubaba, the family where he came from, it was Umama who would put pictures on the wall. Oh. And then Umama here, the home she came from, it was the dad. So without saying anything to each other, each one of them was expecting the other to.
Okay.
So wherever we go, we always carry a bit of home with us.
Yeah.
No matter how, because we have this whole individualistic thing that's popular, the way of seeing the world that's popular today. That I know it's me. I'm my ideas are all my own.
Yeah.
But then if you're to be honest, a lot of what you think are good ideas are really
it's just stuff that you carried over from previous generations.
It's just your friends.
From the people around you.
Yeah, the people around you. So the question here is how heavy is your let's say your mom's influence in your faith?
It's way too heavy.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, you are born into this family and you know nothing, zilch, like zero, right? And these guys shape you.
Yeah.
Right? They expose you to the things that they think they are the best for you.
Okay.
So even when it comes to where you go for church, the food that they feed you, music that they make you listen to, and even the people that they surround you with, are the things that they think these are the best for this little one. So I have no choice. Okay. And those are the formative years of my life, right? And all that stuff is fed into the brain. And therefore, as I grow up, I take that which I've been groomed in as the ideal, right? And I think this is the thing. Yeah. Right? And most of us usually we don't have time to then question, why do they actually go to this church?
Yeah.
Why?
Church
this is what we do, right? So we never really get to experience things for ourselves. We always live under the shadow of those who raise us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can anybody really say my faith is mine?
Well, even Paul in the Bible, he was talking to, was it Titus?
Okay.
Says, I admire the faith. Is it Timothy? I admire the faith of your grandmother.
Must be Timothy.
It must be Timothy, which was passed on to your mother Lois, and now which has been passed on to you. Yeah. So it seems like the issue of faith is something that needs to be passed on from one generation to the other. Even when we look at the likes of Abraham, Isaac, can Isaac safely say that this is my faith or it's my father's faith?
Okay.
Anyway, the guy who was called was Abraham. I wasn't called. So Abraham left and I'm here because of my father. And anyway, I can't go back. Actually, the father then says, even when you're getting married, don't go back and marry from the Chaldeans. Back there, was it?
Yeah. Don't marry the Canaanites.
Oh, the Canaanites.
So actually, get your wife
back,
from home.
Get your wife back from home to preserve that family tradition or culture or rights and whatever that run within the family. So, is it wrong to then say the faith that is mine is a faith that was my parents' faith?
Well, in our individualistic times, people would say you're just a stooge. You're just a stooge. You haven't become yourself. I mean, it even some of the ideas I've heard, well, I don't have any children I know of, but there are some ideas I've heard.
I can see you.
Yeah.
Very careful.
Yes, I have to
be on camera. It's fine. I will talk about this after.
Because someone will post a photo, a carbon copy, like my comments, nyagging. So let me just say, nobody has accused me of fatherhood yet.
Okay. All right.
But there are some questions I have about the way some people look at the issue of raising children. There's some people say, no, look, I don't want to teach my kids any religion. They'll find it for themselves. And I have a problem with that. Because I think, okay, would you let a 5-year-old cross the street? Yet, no. So, are you saying that crossing the street is more complex than religion or morals? So, if you wouldn't let him cross the street by himself, how can you let him decide? How can you say you're going to let him decide his own morals?
Well, you remind me of something that is quite controversial anyway when you talk about people letting their children choose. The other people these days who are letting their children choose their own gender. But that's another issue.
Podcast.
That's another issue. No, that's another issue. I'm just saying, I didn't mention the site that I'm on. I'm just saying that your example aligns also with that. Because that human being is still a child.
We don't let him drive a car.
They don't have the right frame of mind to make informed choices about certain things in life.
Because even as an adult, driving a car is as complex as it is. In heavy traffic, is not as difficult as making religious choices and stuff like that. And I think it's actually unfair for a grown-up to burden a child with that. And what I thought to myself once about that was, look, your kids are going to copy your religion. I'm putting that in quotes. They're going to copy your religion in a sense. So why don't you be systematic about it?
Okay.
At least be orderly about it, because I think you're better off doing it that way than being happy-go-lucky.
Actually, now that you mention the idea of being systematic about it, well, where we come from, Africa, Zimbabwe, what I've noticed is, I think at some point there was a video that was circulating on social media. This guy, this comedian, what's his name? He calls himself Nacheska.
Okay.
You know Nacheska?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Come on.
Yeah, I don't want to lawsuit. I don't know what you're going to say about it. I don't know what you're going to say.
Guys, listen to this guy. It doesn't even... Okay.
I don't know what you're going to say about it. I don't want to get sued.
Guy?
I would like to distance myself
he's posted
from what Meg is going to say about this guy.
Okay, so this guy posts a video where it's probably Sunday morning, and he just opens the door to the child's room, and as he's talking to the child, he says, "Hambe church now."
Okay.
Awuhambi, right? Then he goes back and then comes back and then says, "Maungahambi phuma uyohlala evrandini ufuna ukukhindle yami ngayinikwa uNkulunkulu." Like in Africa, religion is something that parents force on their children.
So
they don't allow.
So are you attacking the comedian?
No, I'm not.
Okay, then I know him. I didn't want to get sued.
No, I'm not attacking him. I'm just he was expressing how
I've seen it.
I've seen the video. You've seen him. Finally. Some fresh breath of fresh air.
He was even MC at my cousin's wedding. I know him.
Dude, so you let me...
because I wasn't sure what you're going to say. I don't want to get sued.
So I was just bouncing that from your idea to say that we need to be systematic about it. And how can parents learn to allow their children an opportunity to be free? In as much as we say this is the religion that we have at this home, but don't force them. Don't force it on them. Is there a time where parents should be forceful, then where they should just let free? Because you'll notice that some children go to church because my mother said on Sunday, and I'm at church the whole day. I'm not even listening. I'm there because my mother said, if I decide to silently, then they'll disown me or chase me away from home. And I'm still a little boy. I'm a teenager. I don't have anywhere to go.
Okay.
Right? So, is it possible to allow them freedom and they wake up and say, I'm not going to church today, and say, fine, stay at home?
You're hell-bent on getting me tarred and feathered by...
You started with your first question.
By parents. Because the last time I gave an answer like that to some parents, I was tarred and feathered, and I thought if they had guns, they'd have shot me on the spot.
Okay.
Because I said something controversial, and I'm going to say it here because at least the parents aren't here to shoot me. I said,
and you're going to be anyway.
And I'm editing what I said. I'm filtering it so I get to the point, because I don't want to say something so controversial that no one hears what I'm trying to say. A belief is not yours until you fight with it. Okay. To use your analogy, because I want to get you in trouble as well. I'm not going down alone. Abraham's faith becomes Isaac's faith after Isaac wrestles with it. Abraham has to teach him the faith. Has to teach him the principles and not tell him, because sometimes people confuse tell and teach. He has to teach it, model it, raise him up in it. But it's not Isaac's until Isaac wrestles with it, and it becomes his.
Yeah. So one has to experience.
Yeah.
You shouldn't rely on your parents' experiences.
You've got to get
your own experience.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
okay, bring it on.
Have you heard the expression "don't reinvent the wheel"?
Yes. Yeah.
Don't. Or a friend of mine likes to say, it's best to learn from other people's mistakes. You don't have to always make your own mistakes all the time.
Exactly.
So even raw experience on its own is not enough.
Okay.
And Jesus himself did that. In Luke 24.
Yeah.
It's the evening after Jesus is resurrected from the dead. So there's this guy named Cleopas and his friend.
Yeah.
His friend is unnamed.
Yeah.
Some people say the friend may have been Luke.
Okay.
So they're walking back to Emmaus or Emmaus. I've heard some people say, I don't know how they pronounce it, but they're walking back to Emmaus.
Emmaus, okay.
And suddenly Jesus joins them. But it says they were kept from recognizing him.
Yeah.
And they're talking, and he asks them, what are you guys talking about? And they say, haven't you heard? Are you the only person in Jerusalem who hasn't heard?
Where are you coming from? I knew here.
And then they tell him the story. And then he says, haven't you read?
Yeah.
And then he gives them a Bible study from the Old Testament, basically.
Yeah, okay. The Bible says the prophets.
Moses, the prophets, and the Psalms, which is the Tanakh, the Old Testament.
Yeah.
And then they get to, and then it says he explained everything about himself.
Yeah.
And then they get to a fork in the road. And Jesus is going to go by. He's going to pass by. Then they invite him. Look, we're getting a bite to eat. Come in for some pizza, right?
Yeah.
And they come in, and then Jesus says grace
from Jerusalem Pizza
Inn. Yeah, Jerusalem Inn. Yeah. And Jesus raises his hands to during the place, and they recognize him. It's Jesus. Now the weird thing about that story is, Jesus could have just said right then, "Hey, it's me. I'm up. I'm awake. Hello."
Yeah.
But he gave them a Bible study, and then he left the part about them recognizing him optional, because if they hadn't invited him for pizza, they wouldn't have known that we were actually on the road talking to Jesus.
Okay.
And then when they recognize this Jesus, he disappears, and then they say to themselves, they say to each other, didn't our hearts burn within us when he spoke to us on the road? So the Bible study was more important than... So understanding is more important than raw experience. Or enlightened understanding is more important.
You're raising something interesting here. So are you saying back to what you said. You gave an example of how most people, when they leave and go to different environments, they then lose their faith and stuff. So I think those people largely are people who have zero understanding and
you want to get me sued.
Raw experience. Well, the experience of their parents and whatever. So they don't have a proper understanding of their own faith.
It could be.
It could be.
Or maybe the understanding changed.
Why I ask this? This is very pertinent in the sense that the days that we are living in nowadays, there are many young people. Actually, there are many. I've seen a lot of studies online where they ask the question, why is it young people are leaving the church in large numbers? And it's not just unique to Zimbabwe, world over. So are we saying that the solution to young people leaving the church is to allow them to have not just an experience, but to help them in understanding the Bible?
Yes, with a caveat.
Okay.
With a caveat.
Okay.
Because let's not forget, that we'll talk about that in another episode. Okay. That this whole sin problem began right next to God's throne. So
exactly.
So there's a way in which, can I say a way? To some extent, we can only say that to a certain extent.
Okay.
We can only say what we can help your understanding, but you're still going to have to make a choice. The choice is still up to you.
Okay.
There isn't enough understanding in the world that can stop you from making the wrong choice.
Okay.
Yeah. But we at least want you to make an informed choice.
Now. Okay, let me put you on the spot.
I know many parents don't like.
Let me put you on the spot. I don't know if. Yeah. When you talk about choices, I watched a certain documentary where they're saying what you think is your choice is not actually your choice.
Okay.
There are other things that are influencing your choice, and it's not your choice.
Yeah.
For example, you're thinking you're choosing A, yet that's not your choice.
Yeah.
It's because of your background, your environment and stuff that's influencing that.
Which is what we started with,
Which is what we started with, right? Yeah. So are we saying that we get to a point where we actually get to make our own choices independent of the influences that are around us?
Maybe not independently, but there is... Okay, I'm going to quote Viktor Frankl. Okay. He was an Austrian Jewish psychiatrist who went to a Nazi concentration camp. He went to Auschwitz, if I remember well.
Okay.
And he wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning.
Oh,
and
that book.
Yeah,
that's
Viktor Frankl.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, in the book, he said, from his time at Auschwitz, because they had all their choices taken away from them. You couldn't choose what you do from the time the sun got up to the time the sun came out again. You were forced into this is how you're going to live, and even what you eat, they were being starved to death systematically. And then he said there were people in the concentration camps who would share their last potato with somebody else, the last piece of potato. Because the soup they were being served was so thin, and then the potatoes, the bits of the soup, the solids in the soup would be at the bottom.
Yeah.
So most people, it was actually hard just to get even a potato. Then he said some people would share their last potato or their last crust of bread with someone. And what that taught him was, nobody can take away from you the choice of the kind of person you're going to become. Yeah. So maybe you've taken, I only have choice A, but I choose how I go about choosing choice A. Yeah. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about everyday choices. We're talking about choices about the sort of person you're going to be.
You just mentioned something deep. I think that's food for thought. Let's take a break.
Yeah. And welcome back. It's Jason, the soulful nerd, with Mac or Makawe if your tongue is not too stiff. So we're talking about it's entitled "God Says It, But I Don't Believe It."
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it.
And you're dropping some bars just before the break, man. Yeah. I was learning.
Yeah.
I thought I was here to teach you.
Yeah, I should charge you fees. Lecturing.
Well, talk to my wife. Well, in the future.
Okay.
Okay. The future.
Yeah. Or earn some forex.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was saying nobody can take your ability to choose the sort of person you're going to be.
Yeah.
And it's a choice you have to make.
You have to make yourself.
You know, when I was talking to those parents who were angry with me, I said, you know, the reason we're so experimental as teenagers is I have these values I've been raised with, but I want to test them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're going to experiment anyway, whether
you like it or not.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, you're going to experiment.
Whether you leave the country or
you stay here.
You're going to experiment.
You're going to test.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, some experiments are uncontrolled. And some people don't recover from those experiments.
Yeah.
Isn't
how they raise us influential to the kind of experiments that we do? Because some of the experiments that I'll then get to do are experiments motivated by rebellion.
Yeah.
So I'm rebelling.
Yeah.
I didn't like how they raised me.
Uh-huh.
See, I still keep coming back to saying parents should know better. Anyway, we are going to be parents soon.
You and your wife in the future. Because I
probably you are. You said you probably have some unknown children somewhere.
I said I don't have any children I know of. No one has accused me of fatherhood. That's all I said. You're now accusing me of fatherhood. I don't know. Did you meet someone who looks like me?
Well, I have a picture. I'll post it in the comments.
And I'll sue you.
People
I'll
decide.
sue you. You'll hear from my lawyer. Okay, you're saying parents should do better, blah blah blah.
Yeah. Well, just saying. Also, like
they're doing the best they can.
They're doing the best they can.
The best.
Also, but we have a responsibility as well.
Okay, to do better. With
I think what we need to understand as young people is that, despite all those harsh methods of raising us and stuff, these guys wish the best for us.
Yeah.
I wish we could
sometimes hard to remember.
Sometimes hard to remember. We could just stop blaming them and understand that all they want is the best.
Yeah.
Right? The methods may not be palatable to us, but really we need to play our part. Like what you said, those guys are in concentration camps, but this guy is actually sharing his last potato with someone. The kind of person you become is dependent on you.
Yeah. You decide
that. And I think that's a cool thought. That's a cool thought. It's sobering,
eh?
Yeah. Well,
because it means if you become a bad person, it's on you.
It's on you. You can't say I'm a bad person because my mom used to force me to go to church. No, it's still on you.
It's still on you, yeah. And so no matter how much, because I've been a member of, I guess I'm what my cousin would call conditioned. I've been a member of the same church that my father was, my grandfather was, and my great grandfather was.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I'll take you to my church.
So I've never had to ask myself, should I join as an outsider?
Okay.
Yeah. And because of that, I'm somewhat reluctant to tell an outsider that no, you should join my church.
Okay.
Because I would love him to, but
you're not sure.
If you were to ask me why, sometimes I'm like, look, I don't have the this is all I've ever known. So I've never had to ask myself, why should I join this? But I think because people are all about this, it's all external. You know, we're all like the research you're quoting, like everything we do is because of external factors.
Yeah.
And they've downplayed another important question that I've had to ask myself is, why should I stay?
Why should you stay?
And there was a time in my teenage years when I was on the way out. I think it wasn't a decision I made, but the way I was going about it, I was on the way out. And it's only in retrospect, looking back, where I realized that I was struggling with relevance. What is the relevance of these beliefs in my life?
How does it help?
Yeah. And fortunately for me, I found myself in a congregation where young people were forced to take part. Yeah. To think. Because if they tell you, next week you're presenting.
Okay.
You have to read through and think. And then at the same time, I was at a high school. I moved to a certain high school which had a Christian environment, and there were Christians who believed differently from me. And we were having conversations which forced me to think things through.
You're saying something here,
Yeah.
if I get you well. So you are saying what actually you were on your way out,
Yeah.
but then what actually blocked you from going out was participation in church.
Yeah. I honestly believe that if we want to keep more young people in church, we should get them to participate. It's simple as that.
And what you say makes more sense.
Yeah.
Look at the traditional churches.
Yeah.
Like the talk about Roman Catholic, Methodist, Baptist, Seventh-day Adventist. Those traditional churches, they're amazing churches. I'm not saying anything against them.
Yeah.
They're amazing, great churches. But you notice that the kind of participation that is done in church is usually done by the adults. The older ones are the ones who do the real things in church. And young people probably just ushers, and they are not given that much responsibility. I think what you say makes sense to say. If you involve them, it helps them question their faith as much.
Because if I'm going to present something, I want it to make sense.
Read about it. I want it to. I've seen places where young people, when they're given opportunities to present, the reason why the older folk refuse the young people to present is because they don't trust them.
Yeah.
They think these young people will say stuff that is against the doctrine.
Yeah.
And so we are more protective of the doctrine more than safeguarding the...
Not even the doctrine, the traditions.
The traditions, yeah. Jesus loved to tell the Pharisees a lot about how they loved tradition more than the word of God.
Yeah, that's how I see it. It's not a popular I think you've guessed by now that a lot of my opinions are not very popular.
Yeah, it's not very popular.
Yeah.
So how do we... Okay, no, never mind.
Okay, so we've talked about home, and now the question is, what about church? What about a church? What about pastors? And so the next section is called Vegan Lions. Vegan lions. How many vegan lions have you met? I mean, I know abantu bakosibanda who are vegetarians. One is in this studio, but I know people. But I don't know any vegan lions.
You remind me of that lion, the lion from Madagascar.
Yeah.
Then at some point when he was given an opportunity in the wild, then he started seeing the zebra.
Yeah, he wasn't conditioned anymore. He went abroad. Okay, so I'm just gonna read 1 Kings 13, verse 18. I'm reading from the Contemporary English Version, and it says,
I love that version.
Yeah, I like it because it's everyday English.
It's chilled.
Yeah, it's chilled.
Okay.
It's everyday English. It says, okay, the old prophet said, I'm a prophet too. One of the Lord's angels told me to take you to my house and give you something to eat and drink. The prophet from Judah did not know that the old prophet was lying.
Prophets lie.
Prophets lie.
Someone said, do not... just reminding me of something. I heard this. Someone says, touch not the anointed of God.
Yeah.
Because you can't say a prophet lies.
Yeah.
Huh? But the Bible is saying this prophet was lying.
Some teenagers were cracking jokes about Elijah. Go up, Baldy. And Elijah said, God, deal with them as you see fit. And bears came out of the jungle. Now you have this he's a seasoned prophet.
Yeah.
And he says, look, an angel told me to take you to my house and give you something to eat and drink. And the Bible says, the prophet was lying. He was like, but anyway, background to the story. Let's make it worse.
Yeah, because I was about to ask, you read a verse which seems like there's a lot of detail behind it. Yeah. So what's the background to what you're saying right now?
There's this king named Jeroboam. Let's start off when he's just a guy named Jeroboam. He's a general in Solomon's army. Yeah. Now, Solomon was a goodish king until he got a lot of chicks, got a lot of wives who were not really from his church.
The guy had official concubines, 700 wives, 300 concubines.
Yeah, small houses. Busy guy. He had a lot of energy. He had a lot of energy. So anyway, so Solomon's wives lead him astray and he's worshipping idols. So God says, no, look, I'm going to take the kingdom and give it to your neighbor. The prophet came and spoke. So the neighbor was Jeroboam, his general, one of his general.
Yeah.
So his general actually had to go and live in Egypt. Ran away, went into exile in Egypt. And then Solomon died.
That's a common story.
Yeah.
There are people who run away in exile, then they come back and they're kings.
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
Okay.
So he goes into exile, he comes back, and after Solomon has died. And Solomon's son is not really that clever. Can't really read the room. Because people are like, no, we want lower taxes, what.
The guy
and he's
said some nasty stuff.
Actually vulgar.
That was vulgar. The Bible is nice about it. Yeah,
because it says, my little finger is thicker than my father's.
And we know what he was talking about.
It's actually more like my little thing is thicker than my father's waist.
Nasty.
Yeah, that's... But he didn't... His friend said you should say that. But I noticed in the speech he didn't include that part. Even for Rehoboam, it was it was cringe.
Yeah.
And so anyway, the 10 tribes split and they say, look, you know what? You can keep your kingdom. Tina, we're forming our own.
Yeah.
And then they got Jeroboam and they made him king. But the temple is still in Jerusalem, in the southern kingdom. So Jeroboam is thinking, this is in 1 Kings 12, 26 to 28.
Okay.
He's thinking, if these guys keep going back to Jerusalem for services, they're going to they're going to become loyal.
Yeah.
I think it's Niccolo Machiavelli who said, the prince who's born to the throne will always have a stronger claim than the usurper.
Yeah.
So he's thinking to himself,
Prince, I understand.
Yeah, yes, man. Prince Lunga. Prince Mac.
I can't wait.
Yes, man.
Can't wait to have a
queen.
Princess.
A princess. Yeah. Anyway, so back to the Bible. So he says, so he decides to set up 2 golden calves.
Yes.
I'm building my own religion because I want this religion loyal to me. And then, so he goes in 1 Kings 13, he goes to dedicate one of the golden calves, which is a familiar story from someone who came from Egypt. But anyway, he dedicates the golden calf.
Say something about
and while he's there, and this is where I think God has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Because a prophet from the southern kingdom that he doesn't like so much comes.
He's sent to the
northern kingdom. Curses, he makes a prophecy that there's a king named Josiah who will come in the future and he's gonna knock your religion down.
Oh yeah, Josiah.
And there's a down payment of what's coming. This altar is going to fall apart. And the altar falls apart. So Jeroboam is angry, he's embarrassed. Everyone is there. The cameras are there. People are posting on social media. Altar must fall.
Altar must fall.
Altar must fall. It's embarrassing.
Actually, altar fallen. Hashtag.
And then, so he points at the prophet to say, kill this guy. But as soon as he points, his hand shrivels. He can't put it back.
Yes.
So now it gets even worse. He has to beg that prophet, no, can you please pray to Jehovah? So that
my hand...
so the prophet prays, his hand is fine.
God has some humor, man.
Now, he says...
the prophet actually prayed?
Yeah, he did.
And the hand was fine?
Yeah.
God.
It was a miracle show of miracles,
Yeah.
So he prays, and then now Jeroboam says, look, come over to my house for lunch, we're having a state dinner, and come over. And then the prophet says, and I'm reading, and I want to read his reply. 1 Kings 13 verse 9.
Okay.
And he says, the Lord said, I can't eat or drink anything and that I can't go home the same way I came. Anyway, after that, two guys were there, and they go home and they tell their dad, who's an older prophet. Now the dad bunked the dedication program. He bunked it. And then as soon as he hears what that prophet said, he's like, which way did he go? And they point out, he's like, okay, saddle up my donkey. And then he gets up, follows that prophet, and he says, I'm inviting you to lunch. And then the prophet says, and I'm going to read it again, it's important. 1 Kings 13 verse 17, it says, the Lord warned me not to eat or drink or to go home the same way I came.
Oh,
sounds like a broken record. Huh?
Yeah.
Repetition. I listened to...
And you said that's verse 17.
17, yeah.
Okay, that's when now the verse 18 that you read comes
in. Yes, so it comes in. Now he says, no, an angel said I should.
Okay.
And then it says, but he was lying. Then the prophet went home with the younger one went home with the older one. For lunch. Now while he's eating lunch, the older one says, now you must hear the word of the Lord. You're not going home. You're not going to make it home. Yeah.
So now the older prophet now then mentions the word of the Lord.
Yeah, now he's telling the truth. Now the word of the Lord has come to him to say, no, tell this boy that he's not getting home. He won't make it home. He's going to die. But the story is weird. He still gets up, borrows a donkey,
and decides to go home.
On the way home, he meets a vegan lion. I say it's vegan because I've never heard of a lion that could kill a man on a donkey and not eat the man and not eat the donkey. And that donkey was either brave or dumb because the donkey just sat there on the road. So they're on the road, and you can imagine, I'm a Honda Fitter driving past because that's practically Zimbabwe's national car. Right? Yeah. So Honda Fitter are driving by, and
the donkey is right
on the road, donkey, man,
dead
lion.
Man, lion, and wow.
Yeah.
And the lion is not eating the donkey and the man.
No, yeah. And then of course the older prophet goes, gets the body, the corpse, takes it home, says, bury him in our family's lot. And when I die, bury me with that younger prophet, because his words will come true. And that's the end of the story.
That's a weird story.
Weird story. So many questions. Because the next section here, I said a few questions about prophets lying and vegan lions.
It's a weird story, man.
A few questions about prophets lying and vegan lions. So the first question is, why did the older prophet lie? Because everyone who hears the story has that question. Why was he lying?
I don't know.
Was he jealous that... Why did God call that prophet?
Assumption. Why did God call that prophet? Or probably... Because I would have thought the prophet was for Jeroboam.
Yeah.
But you notice that the prophet didn't go for the dedication of the golden calf.
He bunked it.
Which means he was against it.
Yeah.
So he's seemingly a righteous prophet, a proper prophet.
Yeah.
So why did he lie?
Was he jealous? Was it jealousy? Or was it maybe he heard something he didn't like in that younger prophet's
So he was testing the younger prophet?
Yeah, maybe he wanted to teach him a lesson.
But teaching him a lesson by killing him?
No, by lying to him.
The older prophet knew that the moment the younger prophet gives in, then he's dead.
Did he?
Yeah.
Because it's a question. Everyone who reads the story wonders, hey, where's the story going?
And it just ends there hanging.
Yeah, boom.
It's done.
Gone. You're like, what?
Younger prophet, older prophet don't have names.
Yeah, they're not named. And the only safe answer to that question, I think, for me, is it's not important.
It's not,
Sometimes your pastor will lie to you. You don't know why. It doesn't tell you this. It's not important. It's not important.
It's not important.
Not important.
Because you don't know why he's lying to you.
Yeah. You don't know why.
You may never know.
You may never know.
Actually. So it's not important whether someone lies
or not.
What's important is for you to stick to the word of the Lord.
Yeah.
But how do you stick to the word of the Lord when this guy, from your reading, the guy kept repeating
No, before you even get there.
Yeah.
How come the older prophet wasn't killed?
Dude, come on.
A vegan lion should have come for that guy.
Because the guy lied, clearly.
Yeah, because you get a donkey, and then you ride out a donkey to go and lie to a younger prophet. and God says
and then
nothing.
The younger prophet is genuine.
Not only does God say nothing against that, he actually speaks through the lying prophet. Okay, now I'm telling you the truth.
This guy's going...
Yeah.
And the younger prophet was genuine. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Because he was genuine about doing what the Lord had sent him to do.
Yeah,
and he believed the word that...
The man of God has spoken to you and told you, Uguti, no, new instructions have come. Let's go home. And then God says, you're not making it home.
There are thousands of people right now who are busy taking the what their pastors and prophets are saying.
Yeah.
And they take those things at face value, saying, no, God has spoken to the man of God.
Yeah.
So the man of God is right.
But this is my belief because this is what my pastor says.
This is what my pastor says.
This is my belief because this is what my church says.
Now you've taken it from what my parents say. Actually, my parents say is better.
Yeah.
Because, like what we say, your parents wish the best for you.
Yeah.
But the pastor probably is trying to take your money, trying to take your wife, or whatever. He's
or your husband. Some prophets take your husband.
Come on, dude. But yeah, you're right. Yeah. Because you don't know the intentions of the pastor, the preacher, the prophet. You don't know.
Yeah.
And so...
Because here's the thing. Why didn't the younger prophets, God says it, I believe it, and that's all there is to it, attitude, protect him from deception?
Yeah. Or rather, why didn't the younger prophet say, I know, I'll ask God?
Yeah.
Because God spoke to me the first time. And if he has changed his message, then he should have communicated with me.
There was a time when a church elder approached me and he said, Jason, the Holy Spirit has led us to ask you to fill this certain position in church.
Yeah.
And my response was, Mina ganjela.
I hope the elder is not watching now.
I hope he is.
Yeah. And that's the problem with churches nowadays, where we always use the
Why
Holy
would
Spirit
he tell
to
you
say,
and not
why
tell
would
me?
he tell you? And I'm holier than you, so God talks to me. Yeah, because you are too sinful. No, but
so he wants me, a sinful guy like me, to fill a position in his church, a leadership position. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but in this story, these are two guys who are prophets.
Yeah,
and both of them talk to God.
Yeah.
So why did the younger prophet give in to the?
Yeah, I mean, he could have said, "Look, let's talk to God. Let's ask God what he thinks."
Yeah, I see why you're bringing this in.
Yeah,
the idea that when you don't really believe, is believe the right word? When you don't have a proper understanding,
when you don't own,
when you don't own the belief,
when you don't own it,
when you don't own it, it's easy for other people to sway you.
Yeah, because when you start off with God, you don't know everything. He tells when you're new.
Yeah,
you're almost like a robot. Do this, do that, do this, do that.
Yeah.
But if you're really into it, you're thinking through. And this guy isn't thinking through. Because why would God say don't eat at the house? Yeah. Because you're delivering a tough message.
Yeah.
And if you're going to eat at the home of the king, you're diluting your message.
Yeah.
It's a tough message to hear. And it's got to, boom, sink in.
Yeah.
So, and also when you're eating at someone's house, you're saying you have a relationship.
Yeah.
But Lapa, you're prophet.
Yes, yeah. And God was saying to those guys, no, guys, those people, what they're doing, I hate it.
Yeah.
And so do not eat at the house. Do not even sleep there, because the prophet, the man of God, is standing as a representative of God.
Yeah.
And so imagine God walking to the people that he's saying, stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
And God starts to entertain them. Or God entertain sinners who genuinely want to repent. But these guys actually didn't want to repent.
Unrepentant.
They were unrepentant, and so God was giving them a warning to say, I know, me and you, what do they say in Ndebele? This relationship.
You've gone away from me. I gave you this kingdom.
I gave you, yes.
But now you've
gone away from me. Yeah.
And also, if this prophet makes it home, Jeroboam will hear about it. That he went on to eat idli after what God has said. Like, I guess things Jehovah says don't have weight. I don't have to worry.
I don't have to worry.
But now everyone sees that the lion killed this guy. He didn't die. There was some supernatural interference. It sends the message home to Jeroboam that this is serious stuff.
Yeah.
Even if the prophet doesn't own the message is still true.
It's still true. Yeah. I think we should get to that point where we actually own the thing. I'm more comfortable with younger people who say, I'm leaving the church because I want to find God for myself. Usually when you hear a younger person say that, you're
going to hell.
Exactly. But when someone says that, usually it's a sign that this person is thinking their faith through. And it's fine. Let them go away. Let them find God. And I feel that's one thing that we haven't allowed people to do, to allow them to be themselves. We always threaten them with death and hell and God punishing. But God is not a God who's waiting for you to walk a step away from him and strikes you with lightning. But God is a God who, actually in Isaiah, I can't remember the chapter in Isaiah where he says, come, let us reason together.
Chapter 1, verse 18.
God wants to engage us intellectually. But unfortunately, we have churches where they want people not to use their minds.
Don't think. When you come to church, leave your brain at the gate.
Exactly. When you get to church, just take in everything that the pastor says, everything that the elder says. Then when you go home, leave out what they have said. Yet God wants us to think. There is a church that I'm reminded of, a church in the book of Acts, where even a powerful man like Peter and Paul would preach, and the guys will say, we can't trust what Peter has preached. But this guy is Peter, man. Like, no. We'll go and check
it out
for ourselves at home. The church of Berea, right? They're called the Bereans, And I think that's where we need to.
Because since they received the word gladly, with enthusiasm, then went home to check for themselves.
Nowadays we have people who
they were given a thumbs up for that.
They carry the Bibles to church. So people carry the Bibles to church. They don't open them in church. They come back with the Bibles home. They don't even open them at home. So the Bible goes on the shelf, goes to church. It's just I don't know what I can call it, something that you carry back and forth and you don't use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So faith and reason are not mutually exclusive, just from the story.
Yeah, they're not.
This guy got into trouble because he wasn't thinking about his own message, and he was telling the truth. His message was the truth.
The message was the truth,
but because he didn't own it.
Nowadays we are being taught that if you have faith, you don't need to reason. If you have faith, don't reason. No.
Dangerous.
Those two are not mutually exclusive, like you say.
Because even prophets lie.
Prophets lie, guys. Prophets lie. Prophets lie, and you shouldn't take them at you. Experience your own faith. It keeps coming back. Okay.
So thank you for that. We're taking a break and we're coming back for one last segment.
Welcome back. We're here for our last segment.
Finally.
Yes, it's still Mark and the J. Yes. Now, when we took a break, you were talking about vegan lions.
Vegan lions.
And that was just mind blowing. The concept of the story. Just makes me wonder: am I like the younger prophet or the older prophet?
What do you like?
You're either the guy who lies or the guy who doesn't have a proper understanding of his faith. And we need to shift. And really self-introspective, possible. Introspect and see, these guys say, this is the day of worship, or this is what you're supposed to eat and what you're not supposed to eat.
This is what you wear. This
is what you wear. but what does God say?
Yeah.
What do I believe?
Yeah.
Where do I stand? Once you have a proper understanding of the beliefs, you can actually, I think the Bible says, study to show thyself approved, a workman unto God, thoroughly furnished for all good works.
Yeah.
So you are studying so that you can show thyself approved. Then in another place in the Bible, again, it says that you should be ready instant. Choose the word instant, in season and out of season, ready to defend your faith at any minute. Yeah. And if you don't have a proper understanding of your faith, you'll just start stammering when people ask you certain questions. Because nowadays we live at a time where the young people are reading.
Yeah.
The young
Well
people
read.
are reading, well read. And they'll come with questions that older people will say, no, we don't ask such questions here.
It's illegal.
It's illegal, yeah. And I've had younger people ask some crazy questions.
Yeah.
And they are just dismissed. Yet they are coming from a good place.
Yeah.
Where they actually want to learn more.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've said, okay, you need we've said you need to interrogate the faith you get from your mom.
Yes.
You need to interrogate what the pastor says.
Or your church leader.
Yeah, because prophets lie.
Yeah.
Prophets lie. But what about what God says? Yeah, because mom and the pastor are human, they're fallible as well.
Yeah.
What about when God says something off? What do you do?
Can God say something that is off?
Some of the things God says, you think, but
they don't make sense.
Yeah.
God can say stuff that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, stuff that, can you actually walk up to God and say, but if this is how you're going, then I
What
win.
you say that
It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable.
If we were Pharisees, we'll just rent our robes and say,
Stone that guy. Stone the guy.
Yeah.
But there's a guy whom Pharisees were afraid of, or at least respected, who actually did that. And here's the story. Exodus 32. I'm going to read from verse 7 to 14.
Okay.
I'm changing versions now.
Contemporary English.
Yeah, there was the contemporary English version where I was reading first. But now I want to read from the Free Bible version.
These versions. Okay.
Yeah, it's another simple, everyday English version.
I'm
always on the lookout.
I'll teach myself to read. I'm
you like
thy,
thee, thou.
Because I'm poetic, imagine thou art fair, my love. Doesn't that sound?
We need to have a Mjolo episode.
Definitely, I think. One of these days we'll do. We talk about Mjolo. I'll be hyped for that. So
we need to do it properly though. So
you said Exodus 32.
Exodus 32, verse 7, and it says, "Then the Lord told Moses, get back down, because your people that you brought out of Egypt are acting immorally. They have been so quick to abandon the way I ordered them to follow. They have made a metal bull calf idol for themselves, bowing before it in worship and offering sacrifices to it. They're saying these are the gods that brought you out of the land of Egypt." Which is what Jeroboam said a couple of centuries later. It says, okay, I know what these people are like. The Lord continued saying to Moses, they are so rebellious. Now leave me. I am angry with them. Let me finish them off. I will make you into a great nation. But Moses pleaded with the Lord his God, saying, why are you angry with the people you brought out of the land of Egypt with tremendous power and great strength? Why should the Egyptians be able to say, he brought them out with the evil purpose of killing them in the mountains, wiping them off the face of the earth? Turn from your fierce anger. Please change your mind over the threat against your people. Remember you swore a promise your servants Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, telling them, I will make your descendants as numerous as the stars of heaven, and give you all the land I promised to them, and they shall own it forever. The Lord changed his mind over the disaster he threatened to cause his people.
Interesting story. Yeah. Moses is clearly saying, God, what you're saying?
Aye. Can't accept that.
I can't accept that.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about Moses? No wonder why the Bible then says he was the meekest man.
Yeah.
Moses is even told, imagine God telling you, Jason, I will make you a great nation.
Yes, please.
You and your descendants. So let's kill all these people.
And start over.
No. Yeah, that's quite interesting.
I wish we had more leaders like that. I mean, that's a great leader to have. A leader who would say, okay, it's not in this one. I can't remember which other one it is, where he actually said, no, if you're going to do that sort of thing, wipe me out of your book as well.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, man, that's a leader to have.
Okay, you're tempting me, but anyway, let me not talk about the leaders that we have today in our church.
Hey.
If you keep pressing that button, I'll go there and I'll get this podcast cancelled.
Yeah, because okay, to set the background, 6 weeks before this incident, the Israelites had been at the foot of Mount Sinai saying to God, look, everything you've said,
we will do. Yeah.
And 6 weeks go past, and with stomachs filled with manna, they're twerking around an idol. Because you know when it says they got up to dance, this is the English translators being polite. Yeah, because the dancing there, it's the... Well, I don't pray. I pray. I don't go to parties. So it's one of those parties where, the parties after midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of dancing that goes on there.
I don't know. I've never.
Yeah. It's what I've heard people say.
Okay.
It dancing yakona aihloniphi. It dancing aihloniphi. It's very suggestive dancing. The kind of dancing that leads to maternity dresses and damages going go babazala.
No, but what you say makes so much sense.
Call the child Ezomkito.
No, I totally, completely agree with you on that, because the Bible even says those guys in their temples, they even had temple prostitutes. Their idol worship somehow had also sexual immorality. So you couldn't divorce this thing.
I'll bet no one was late to church.
Obviously, bruh. So when you say they were twerking around the golden calf, that makes sense. It's not out of the Bible. It's in the Bible, just that the Bible uses proper language.
Let's be polite.
And you're not polite.
So no one's paying me to be polite. Anyway, so they're twerking around. So then God says to Moses, "Look, now you're one. I mean, 6 weeks, guys." No, that's a month and 2 weeks. That's a month and a half.
Immediately after seeing the mountain tremble and God's voice and thunder and lightning.
I mean, how long is probation? 6 months, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're at work,
3 months.
3 months. Okay, even 3 months probation, and halfway into that already, you're turning things upside down. The boss comes in and you're twerking on the table. Come on, bruh. At least let it probation sign a contract, at least you get a hearing and stuff. But now I'm like hearing, just get out of here.
Just 6 weeks after the Mount Sinai incident.
And he's still there, he's still on Mount Sinai. Smoke, thunder, fire, boom, 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 boom. Which is like, miracles. Because even in the other story, that other prophet was performing miracles. But so people think miracles are enough to get you to believe, but it seems after they got scared and said, you know what, Moses, you talk to God, and then whatever he tells you, you tell us, because if he keeps talking to us, we're going to die. And Moses, no, you're not going to die. But so after they got over the fear, they got over the miracles, they're still eating miracle manna, they're full. Basut. But they're twerking
it was
around
the
the golden
day
calf.
after the morning when they had picked manna. They're twerking the afternoon of it.
They actually planned to have the party. They've had something to drink, something strong as well, and they're getting up to dance and stuff. So, twerking questions. That's the subtopic we have. The last one.
The questions are twerking, or the questions are about twerking?
Both.
Okay. Bring them on.
Because we want to make the questions twerk. We want the podcast to twerk.
Oh, bring them
twerk.
on.
Even the cameraman. Twerk.
Bring them on.
And the editor, twerk. Okay. Okay. The first question: why did Moses talk about God's reputation instead of the horrors of genocide? Because I'd have thought Moses would have said, "Look at, okay, fine, yeah, they're naughty, they're being naughty downstairs there,
yeah,
but well, downstairs, both literally and figuratively. But anyway, so downstairs, they're being naughty downstairs, right? But they're people.
They're people.
You know,
yeah,
you're supposed to be a God of love and whatever. But then he talks about God's reputation. Look, imagine what's going to happen when this gets out. You're going to have a serious PR problem. Yeah. I mean,
Moses was
weird.
quite wise. Weird,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
God is telling Moses, no, Moses, I want to wipe all these people out of the face of the earth. And Moses then says, you know what, God, your reputation matters.
Yeah.
My mind quickly goes back to the beginning where this whole thing started. I mean, the whole story of this battle between God and Satan, and there's an opportunity for God to wipe out the devil from the face of the earth. I mean, God is powerful.
Yeah.
He could, but he decides to let him leave and not destroy him at that moment. Why was he doing that? Because God believes that not that he believes, but he understands that the best way to make people serve you is to show them love and not make them fear you.
Sure.
Because what God would have done was, yes, his fear was going to spread. People were just going to say, this God is a bad God. He kills those who do not do his will.
Yeah.
He's just out there to kill and punish people, those who do not do his will. And the Egyptians, the other nations would have said that, yes. But then what? Anyone who was to join this God, even actually Moses' children and the descendants, if Moses' children and descendants were going to be multiplied, they were going to serve God out of fear. That, remember, last time, the people that rebelled against God were killed. So we will also be killed. But fear doesn't last long. Right? So Moses mentions God's reputation because it is out of God's reputation. Actually, God's reputation is love. So Moses appeals to God's love. Why? Because God's love produces lasting effects than the other side of it.
So it's, in a sense, Moses is saying, look, God, if you're going to change your strategy, if you're going to change your modus operandi from being a God of love, I'm out of this thing.
Exactly.
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
That's radical. I mean, because we don't hear that in church.
We don't hear that in church.
Haven't heard sermons like that. Sermons are like, God says this, you do it.
You do it. Yeah, whatever God says, we will do. Actually, that's what the Israelites did, remember?
Yeah.
On the mountain, 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
6 weeks before this.
Whatever he says, we're going to do.
Whatever he says, we will do. Whatever he says, we'll do. But Moses was not the whatever.
Less than 2 months later.
Yeah, Moses is not the whatever he says, I will do.
I don't have a French accent, but a few moments later.
A few moments later. I think the editors need to put that. Few moments later. Yeah. So you're saying that real faith questions God.
Yeah. There are certain expectations that we are supposed to have of God. That's incredible, because when you listen here, it's as if Moses is saying, no, but God, you're God, you can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, Abraham did the same thing when God told him, like, look, I've really come down to investigate Sodom, whatever. And then Abraham says, no, you're the judge of the world. You've got to be just. You can't just kill the righteous with the
wicked.
He also stood there and said, no, you're God. You can't do that. So it's as if God is not he's not a schoolyard bully. When I was way back, all those centuries back in high school. Centuries back in high school.
Dude,
as a young.
Like the Highlander, the immortal. Okay.
Matthew's long fun. No, all those centuries way back in high school, I was walking into class and the bully punches me in the chest. Boom. unprovoked. I look at him and I'm thinking, okay, what's going on? And then he says to me, I just felt like doing that. It's like, have you got a problem, Jason? And I said, no. He said, yeah, so stop standing there and stare at me and get into class. So I got into class. And I think a lot of people worship, they think the God of the Bible is like that.
Yeah.
Because there are times when God has to be serious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Burn a few people here and there, Yeah. Send bears to, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And people have gotten this idea that, God is the tough guy, Jesus is the nice guy, that sort of thing.
Mm.
But here you have right because Moses is, the time of Moses is a big thing. He's setting up, I like to call it Israel Inc. He's setting up Israel Inc.
Yeah.
And things have gone wrong already at the start.
Yeah.
And you have Moses who feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Talking
very comfortable saying stuff like that
to God. No, you can't do that. Think of your reputation.
Yeah. In my head, God is someone that I can't say, no, God, you can't do that. Because God is all-knowing, all-wise, and yes, he is all-wise. Actually, even his interaction with Moses here, when he tells Moses this, he understands that he wants to get Moses from a certain level of faith to a certain level.
Okay.
I mean, when God is dealing with Moses in this manner, he understands that there is more to Moses than what has been revealed. So he's appealing to something deeper within Moses. And Moses proves that, remember, we are not just human beings who are just living lives for no reason. There are many, there's another side that's watching to say, the devil is watching to say that the people that you have chosen and is ready to accuse us. So when God speaks to us in such a way, he's trying also to prove. Remember Job, he says, no, the devil says,
Job is a snake queen. Job is a snake queen. You're a blesser.
He's a gold digger.
If you blue tick him, he's going to blue tick you.
Right? And Job proves that he was not a gold digger.
Blows God's inbox up. Talk to me. What's happening? What's going on?
Exactly. And I wish we could understand that at some point, God may say things that are out of sync with what we know about him, not because he wants us to listen to him and just say yes. No, but because he wants to invoke something in us that will prove God to be, that will justify God for choosing us. And I think that's what Moses does here. I don't know if,
because my question is, why didn't a vegan lion appear on Mount Sinai and kill Moses?
For going against God's
because a few centuries later, around another story to do with the golden calf, a younger prophet listens to a lying prophet. He's irresponsible, and he dies. He goes against what God told him to do, and he dies. And somebody lied to him. Here you have nobody lied to Moses, and God says, "Dude, step aside. These guys are toast." And Moses says, "No, you can't do that. Think of your reputation." What did the Egyptians say?
And then he's not toast.
No, he's not toast.
He actually
no, you can go on. And by the way, after you die, after he dies, he's coming to heaven, right? Yeah. So. I mean, it seems unfair when you look at it.
When you look at it, it seems
unfair. But there's something profound about the story. That God, when God works with us, this faith thing is not, you're not meant to be passive. No. You're proactive, and God is actually okay with Moses being so committed to the project that he's willing to say, "No, God, if you're going to change how you're doing this, if you're going to go that way, I'm leaving. To say that there's no other way than for you to be patient with these people. Because God says, "No, your people, Moses." Moses, your people that you brought out of Egypt.
Imagine God telling you that your people, Jesus, and you say, not like you're having this honest conversation, discussion with God, and I feel it's amazing.
Where you can actually correct something God said, and God is okay with it.
Yeah.
And I think so many of us have this problem that we never reach a point of intimacy with God like that, where we can say, no, what I know you don't really mean what you're saying, because this is not like you.
Exactly.
Yeah. When you hear God's voice face to face and you say, no, this is not like you.
This is not like you. You remind me of, which king is this one? Was it Hezekiah?
Yeah.
I was told you're going to die.
Yeah.
And then put your house in order. He says, no, God, I don't want to die now.
Starts telling God his CV, I've been good.
Like who does that? Like, all have sinned and fallen short of God. But he says, no, God, I've been good.
God says, okay, sure.
15 more years, bruh. Because he then messes up after that. Yeah. But I'm saying that kind of intimacy with God, where you are able to be open with God, to be yourself with God.
Yeah.
To speak to God even when you don't agree with things.
Yeah.
This is where we're coming from, to say your faith must not be a faith that says, oh, I'm not supposed to eat this.
Yeah. Fine. And you stick with that.
And you stick with that.
Because when you start off, when you're new to this faith thing, you're still learning. So you're going to be on the receiving end.
Yeah.
But there's growth expected. I like to use this example. If you walk up to a 3-year-old boy and you ask him, why don't you stick your finger in the electric socket? Say, mamuza jai. Yeah. If you ask a 14-year-old, why don't you stick your hands in the socket? I don't want to get electrocuted. You ask an electrician, why don't you, like, wait a minute, I stick my finger in electric sockets all the time. In fact, that's how I put food on the table. I put the socket in. Don't even ask me about sticking the finger in. I put the socket in.
I actually put the socket in, yeah.
And then you ask the question, which one of them is telling the truth? Which one is lying? So it depends.
It depends on
the growth. There's an expected level of, if you're at this level, this is how. So if you're to meet an electrician who says, you know what, I've decided to stop putting my fingers in electric sockets because umamuza and chai. All of us are thinking, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But when we're in church, we want electricians to give 3-year-old answers.
Yeah.
And that's where things get messy.
Let me try and throw something here. Yeah. So we're saying that I've heard a lot of people, and it sounds holy. It sounds very holy. When you ask people at church, why is it you don't do this and that?
Yeah,
the answer is God says so. And it sounds holy. It sounds like they're obedient.
Yeah.
But are you saying that's not the right answer? Okay.
It
why
can
is it
be.
I've had,
because if a 3-year-old says, "Umamuza and chai," my mommy said
so
I shouldn't.
It depends on their level of growth. Okay, I get you. Because I know a lot of people right now who, if you approach them and say, "Why is it you're not getting a second wife?" Tell you, no, God says we should.
God says, yeah.
But we need to get to a point whereby I'm saying that the faith or the religion that I've chosen is so beneficial to my life that I'm doing it not just because God says so, but I've found value in it. Right?
So you say, because God said not to, and I found that it's true.
And I found that it's true, and I found the value in it, right? So I will not eat anything that defiles this body because there is value in it.
Yeah.
It's benefiting me. I'm a healthy guy, I'm strong, and beyond that, I have a sharp mind, I have a clear mind.
Yeah.
So I've found value, and not just finding value like you say, but also that this thing is true.
It's true.
Yeah.
There's no better way to live, because when you look at the wilderness twerkers,
what a name.
their obedience lasted 6 weeks.
Yeah, and it lasted 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So fear does not produce.
Doesn't. Not long-lasting results.
Faith is not fear.
Yeah.
There is no fear in faith.
If you don't know which child is obedient when the teacher's in the classroom.
Yeah.
Because when the teacher's in the classroom, everyone is obedient. But when the teacher goes away, maybe 5 minutes, okay, 10 minutes, okay, 15, 20, then you know, okay, that's the disobedient one, that's the obedient one. Because God is still there, still on the mountain. At first they were scared, and they were wild, and they were, okay, we'll read this, but after...
that's a good story. Amazing how you bring it that. It's a challenge, hey?
It's a challenge to me too.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you catch yourself thinking, no, I want to do this really bad thing, but I'm
afraid of the consequences.
I'll go to hell.
Yeah, exactly. We are. If God was to say there is no hell, the next place I'll probably land is some beer or somewhere Shabin and get 5 girls and stuff.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not doing stuff because I'm afraid of hell.
Yeah.
But we need to get to a point where I'm not doing stuff because there is value in it.
Yeah.
I think if you end it here,
we can.
I'll be fine. I'll be fine. But now I think the challenge that comes, someone might just then be asking, so how do I grow my faith to a point where it's mine, I own it?
Yeah.
Because we've talked about those stories, yes, Moses and stuff.
Yeah.
But how do I own the faith that I have? How do I get to that level? Is there a formula or are there steps that I can take? What can I do?
Go to church.
Hey, son. My mother has been forcing me to go to church, so I'm not getting into church.
Yeah, well, go to church. And this time, go for yourself. Well,
okay, yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah, okay. To be more serious about it.
Yeah.
Paul is on his way to Damascus. He wants to kill more Christians. He's even got letters from, Caiaphas.
Yeah.
And jail more Christians in Damascus.
Yeah.
And he meets Jesus.
Yeah.
And it's a bright flash of light.
Yeah.
And he's blind.
Yeah.
So Jesus, they have a talk, and Jesus is like, no, dude, if you hurt my people, you're hurting me.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jesus, and then Paul says, so what must I do?
Yeah.
Then Jesus says, no, go to Damascus.
Yeah.
And now those Christians you are going after, get them to pray for you, and then you get your sight back.
Yeah.
Why didn't Jesus give Paul his sight there?
Just there and there, yeah.
He could have.
He could have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he says, I want those guys
to
pray for you. Yeah.
So God, in a way, he's stressing the importance of the community of believers.
Yeah.
To say that, and in a way, he's saying that he's not just working on Paul, he's also working on these believers.
Yeah.
Because we often think that the more eloquent one at church doesn't learn from the others. But we all need each other. Yeah. And the Bible says we sharpen each other. When I'm home, I'm reading my Bible alone. I can read a Bible verse and then have my own conclusions until I come to you.
Okay.
And Jason, you give me this other perspective, like what you did in this podcast.
Yeah.
You give me another perspective.
Yeah, I should charge you fees.
Charging
collect offering.
I think we need to do a podcast on charging the gospel.
Yeah,
because you keep wanting to charge the gospel.
Yeah, because I've got to eat too. I don't eat amen.
I'll pray for you. Yeah. So first step, go to church.
Yeah, okay. It's not the. I'm trying to run away from giving a formula.
Okay.
We've already said you need to think for yourself, but what I'm saying is don't think by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Because we all sing well in the shower, but you need a choir director, a music director to tell you. I know, Jason, you're now saying the song. We want you to sing the song, but you're saying the song. So you can't be your own reference point.
No, you can't.
Yeah. So even somebody says, look, I don't see why you need a church. You need to go to church. You can just read the Bible by yourself. Oh, sure you can.
Yeah, sure you can.
But you're cheating yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not to say that reading your Bible wedwa is wrong. It's good.
It's good.
But reading the Bible in community is even better.
So not just cheating yourself, you're shortchanging yourself.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff that you're missing by not being a part of a community.
Yeah. You need a miss. In fact, you need to get to church and find someone who and interact with some people who dislike your church. It's necessary for your growth.
Okay. Yeah. So to those who
so because what I'm saying is this faith thing is not just meant to ricochet in your head. It's not just it's not a philosophy. Not just a philosophy.
Abstract.
It's a life.
Yeah.
God is calling you to life. He's calling you to intimacy, because we've already talked about Moses, who was so intimate with God that he could say, no, the way you're talking now, this is not you. This is not the Jehovah I've come to know.
Yeah.
And I would rather have the Jehovah I know than what you're portraying now. Yeah. That kind of intimacy is what God is calling us to. He's not just calling us to a list of abstractions. Yeah.
I like everything you said. I wasn't so sure about you.
Yeah.
But you seem like you
soulful nerd.
Yeah. It seems like whoever brought you back to church helped.
Yeah.
And now I hope this has challenged someone.
Yeah.
To strengthen their faith.
Yeah.
And probably we'll catch you in the next episode.
And in closing, if you disagree with everything we've said so far, go and read Isaiah chapter 1. Isaiah chapter 1 is where God says a mindless religion is worthless.
Yeah.
That's Isaiah chapter 1.
Isaiah chapter 1. We'd like to hear more comments from our guys.
Definitely.
Please share what you think about this.
In the comment section. Yeah.
If you want to follow up to this, we're ready to do it.
Yeah, view. No, wait, view, subscribe, right? And share.
Thank you so much for joining us, and catch you next time. Mark signing out.
The Soulful Nerd out.
Yeah.